With Chris Dorr, we have a major update for gun owners again today, guys. We've been getting asked a lot about where are we on constitutional carry, and we have information for gun owners today. Not promising that it's going to be good information, but we have information for you nonetheless. So come on in this broadcast, guys. We're going to pause here for just a couple of moments here, let the crowd kind of build up. I know it's a Saturday, good weather, and we had one of our staff guys out shooting an IPDA or IDPA course just a couple of hours ago. Great day to be outside.
Alex, everybody in Georgia knows Alex.
Great day to be outside shooting guns, but we have an update for gun owners when it comes to constitutional carry. So we're going to pause for just a couple more seconds, and then I see some comments that are popping off here. So we're gonna begin. I think everybody knows that. What was it, Chris? It was the first of. Actually, I have it on the calendar here. It was the 31st of January where constitutional carry sailed out of the Judiciary Committee. You know, we were there. I was there testifying on behalf of GGO. We had a very strong presence from Senator Jason Anabatarte, the lead sponsor on this bill. 31 co-sponsors on the bill, almost the entire Senate Republican caucus. The media freaked out. Everybody was freaking out, all this progress, and then nothing for almost 2 weeks now, almost nothing. And Chris, we've done this for a lot of time, a lot of years in a bunch of states. And anytime we have a gap like this, anytime you have a sudden momentum loss like this, it's a bad sign when it comes to our gun rights.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but I think I'm just going to jump right into it here. If there is a chance that we could get constitutional carry on the floor of the Georgia Senate this coming week. And so we're asking everybody, I just put this link in the comment section just now. We're asking everybody to hammer on this link, be in contact with the Senate Rules Committee and urge them, say, hey, it's time to do it. It's time to do it. We've been campaigning for years. Now is the time. Let's get the job done. So we're asking everybody today, right now, click this link and put pressure on the Senate Rules Committee and tell them to get this thing out of committee and send it to the floor.
This, like all committees in Atlanta, this is a heavily Republican-dominated run committee. There is no Democrats that have enough majority to do anything. They have no power. They have no power in Atlanta. So this is a Republican-dominated committee, and the only question is how fast will they move it out of their committee. They have to hear from you guys absolutely immediately. We have good information that things are moving in the right direction, but I'm just gonna say it. We've heard that before. Every time we hear a Republican tactician in Atlanta say, "Oh, things are heading the right direction," well, what does that mean? Because the calendar waits for nobody, and we are rapidly running down the clock on how much time we have to advance this bill. You know, for a lot of people who may not know what we're talking about, just the brief, one paragraph overview, it just says if you're a law-abiding Georgian, you can carry a gun. You don't have to ask the government for permission. You don't have to go on some damn database and be tracked like some kind of a criminal, pay them any money, add your name to their system. You can just carry a firearm. And as we said before, Chris, it's not really about the policy anymore. We know what that is. It's just about freedom. It's about freedom. It's about planting the flag for freedom deep in Georgia soil and telling Stacey Abrams and telling MSNBC and telling the DNC and everybody else.
The AJC.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of C's. That Georgia stands for freedom. Yeah. That Georgia stands for freedom, and that, by God, your gun control agenda is not going to work here.
All right. And I see people in the comments section now saying that they've sent their emails. Again, folks, we want to focus on this a lot here today. There is the potential, if we all join in and hammer on this right now, there is the potential to get constitutional carry not only out of Senate Rules Committee, but onto the floor and voted out of the Senate. And folks, that would be the first time in Georgia history, by the way. That'd be the first time in Georgia history. And then we get to go to work on the House, okay? And that's where a huge battle is going to take place, but we can't get to that until we get this Senate bill out of the way first. So thank you, John. Thank you, everybody that is clicking into the comment section, letting us know that you've already sent those.
There's a timing issue here, not just with this legislative calendar, but with Georgia. because I mean, we hate to say it, but there's a scenario in which Stacey Abrams plants her fork in Georgia instead of the flag for freedom we're trying to plant in Georgia, and she wins this gubernatorial. Her fundraising numbers are stratospheric. Thankfully, even the national news media is now saying that her mask debacle from last week is an absolutely massive unforced error, and maybe that causes real problems for her. But if Stacey Abrams becomes governor, the window for constitutional carry is closed for 4 years, maybe 8 years. I don't know. The idea of thinking of her running our state makes you nauseous, but the reality is that there's a scenario in which that happens. And so we have got to get this to happen this year, because after this year, it's hard to say what the future holds when it comes to the fight for our gun rights. For all I know, we may be fighting tooth and nail on defense next January in Atlanta, trying to stop a Governor Abrams and her staff from ramming gun control into law. So this really needs to happen now. And for all the Republicans who've talked so big for so many years, this is their chance. Put up or shut up. That's the idea here from gun owners.
Yep, it's absolutely right. So, folks, you can see that I'm putting up links in the comments section now as we go along. There's a lot of people, Paul Schmidt, John Glover, who have said they're already sending off that email. Thank you so very much. Again, for those of you who are just jumping in here, we are getting word that this thing might get out of the Rules Committee this coming week. And, folks, it has to, just like Aaron said. The clock is ticking, not only on this legislative. Well, let's focus on that for a second here. I looked it up the other day. I believe that this session is supposed to get over on April 4th. We are running out of time, and we'll just say it. There is a demographics shift going on.
Absolutely.
And so God forbid Stacey Abrams wins 4 years. The damage might be done so badly at that point that we don't get this chance again, or maybe not in the next 10 years or 15 or 20. And now is the chance. So now is our chance. And now that we're hearing that the Senate Rules Committee might be pushing this thing out this week, we have to push as hard as we can. So I'm going to drop that link into the comment section right here one more time.
We posted a second link there right now as well, guys. There's 2 links here. I don't want to confuse you, but the first one is to the Rules Committee. We have to get out of rules first. But then it could be in the Senate floor as early as Tuesday of this coming week. And so there's not a lot of time here. So also contact your senator, no matter if they're on the committee or not, with the second link and tell them, I want you to be a yes vote on Senate Bill 319. SB 319. There's not a lot of time if this goes from rules on Monday to the floor on Tuesday to make your voice heard. So for all you who have sent an email, you have to send 2 emails today, one to the Rules Committee and then one to the full Senate. And so, last year when Joe Biden hopped into office, whether he won that sucker or not, who knows? You like that?
Tottered.
Wheelchaired in, whatever it was. We had a ton of governors across America in red America who actually demonstrated some testicular fortitude and got it done. 5 states, 1 year that got this done. And I'm just going to tell you, having spent much time in the Capitol this session lobbying for Georgia for this bill on behalf of Georgia gun owners, we're not seeing the leadership from Governor Kemp that we saw in Iowa with Governor Reynolds, in Tennessee with the governor in Tennessee, in who else passed it? Utah passed it last year. Texas finally got it done last year, and Montana got it done last year. So in all of these states, the common denominator is overwhelming grassroots firepower and a governor who picks up the phone and makes phone calls. Sometimes they're public, sometimes they're private, but putting pressure on leadership members to get the bill to my desk. And we are not seeing that kind of support right now from Brian Kemp. Now, of course, for everyone watching, like, yeah, no kidding, it's Brian Kemp. But I mean, Brian had the press conference, and Chris, Alex was there, GGO was there. He had a press conference before session trying to suck up all of the pressure, the love, the grassroots credit. and he hasn't lifted his fingers yet this session to try to get it done.
Yeah, that's what's really like driving people bonkers here. But that's why we have to take advantage of this situation, because right now Brian Kemp is out there saying, "Oh, and this is round two. I'm all for constitutional carry," but that's all. So he's got that benefit. He's out there saying, "I'll support it." But the bill isn't on his freaking desk. We got to get the bill onto his desk. That's why we're asking everybody to take a moment right now to do that. I want to throw this one up on the stream, though. Hold on just a second here. This one right here. Check out this guy. So, folks, we're asking you guys to send an email to this Rules Committee. Do it because of this guy right here, Mark Strawn. This guy, Mark Strawn, is a lifelong dedicated gun-grabbing trash ball. All right. And but not only that, but he doesn't even know the words that he's using here. So he says, "What makes me noxious?" Noxious. I think he meant nauseous. But he's a gun grabber. He's sitting here listening to us talk about freedom, about making Georgia the next constitutional carry state. And he says it makes him noxious, as in toxic, like internally corrupt. We agree, Mark, you are internally noxious. You are a noxious individual. You don't know your own words, but folks, in honor of this dip dunk right here, Mark Strawn, we're asking you all to email the members of this Senate Rules Committee and put pressure on them. Put pressure on them. If they didn't need to be pressured, the Senate Rules Committee, they would have already passed the committee. It already would have passed.
Yeah.
Would have passed last year, quite frankly. So they need to be contacted. So please hit that link and get it going.
Man, Chris, you got me all distracted. I'm over here on Mark Strawn's Facebook page, Mr. Noxious. I'm seeing he's a bootlicker from way back when. He wants all of us to be basically in a COVID lockdown camp with government troops locking us into COVID camps, for lack of a better phrase. And these are the kind of people that we have, that their worldview is under attack because what they see is freedom spreading all across the country. I mean, Alabama, we had a team there last week. They're moving constitutional carry down there. They're moving it in Indiana. They're moving it right now in Ohio. They're moving it right now, we hope, here in Georgia. And all these people are seeing all the things that these laws that have held us back for so many years are crumbling under the pressure of gun owners who are fighting hard every day. And so we love watching these guys collapse in fits and starts. And I feel bad for Mark Christopher Sistrunk here. He's like, man, this guy's giving Mark's a bad name. No, Mark, no, you're a pro freedom, Mark. This guy's and
Mark also, he also has the best name in the world there as his second middle name there.
Yeah.
So
Christopher, that's right.
But no, the left, the woke left, the media, all these people, they're all corrupt. They're all wearing these 4-face diaper face masks. They're the kind of people, Mark's the kind of guy, these are all the kind of people that are sitting there cursing out the truckers up in Canada right now. They're cursing out the people out in California who are talking about getting a big old road show going around the Super Bowl. They don't like freedom. They hate freedom. They love the chains of slavery. And they hate it when people like us are rising up and saying, nah, we're taking our rights back, whether you like it or not. They're ours. We're keeping them. Give them back to us. And they don't like it when we sit here and instead of licking the heels of these boots of these politicians, we tell them, hey, get your butts back into that Rules Committee. Let's get this bill out and send it to the Senate for a vote. Folks, again, this is happening very quickly. There's not very many legislative days left now between this point where we're at and where this bill has to be out of the committee or out of the Senate in order for it to still be eligible to pass over in the House. We need to get to work putting pressure on the House, but we can't do that not nearly as effectively as we can if the Senate has already passed constitutional carry out.
Yeah, that momentum boost is everything, right? And people are asking, well, what about the problem in the House with corrupt David Ralston? Well, that's a problem, no doubt. But that problem is we need to fix this problem first, and then we can begin to crush on the House. Someone here in the comment section, I think Ken Brooks said, who's on this committee? Well, Jeff Mullis is the chairman of Rules. Who has Ken? And Jeff is a co-sponsor of this bill. But Jeff needs to go the next step now and not just co-sponsor, but move it out of the committee. Jeff Mullis, Bill Cowsert, he's also a co-sponsor, Lee Anderson, John Albers, Matt Brass, Dean Burke, Gloria Butler, Mike Dugan, Steve Gooch, Tyler Harper, Chuck Huffstetler. I think he was a late co-sponsor, but he did, I believe, co-sponsor. Harold Jones, John Kennedy, Butch Miller, Elena Parent, the radical leftist psycho whose eyes popped out of her head when I kept cutting her off in committee last week saying, are all your studies funded by Bloomberg? Because you're talking a bunch of crap. And then Larry Walker is the last member of the committee. So that's the members of the committee. And Ken is asking, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, if you guys get in contact with these people, you start a discourse with them, via email. One thing that you guys can help them with, because they're not very good at this. There's not very many politicians other than maybe President Trump and Ron DeSavage and a couple other people. But one thing that gets in these people's minds is that they have to be on defense when it comes to these committee hearings. If you guys talk with them, tell them don't apologize. Don't try to sit there and be all on defense when this bill comes up for committee. There will be there will be people like, what was her name, Aaron?
Elena Parent, the Senate leader on the Democrat caucus.
Yeah, these trash balls will always ask this stuff. And they try to make it sound like they have an interest in public safety, but they don't. They absolutely don't. They're trying. Every question they ask will be intended to try to derail the legislation. So just tell
That's
these
why
Republicans.
It's so fun, frankly, fighting for you guys in Atlanta, because when she asked the question, well, don't you agree that the 2014 bill that we passed has made violent crime rise here in Georgia? And I was like, yeah, in all the Democrat-run cities that you people have destroyed, sure. I mean, everything they bring up is crap. So Chris's point is exactly spot on. We're not here to prove the validity of the Second Amendment to the radical left. We're not here to get permission or buy-in from the radical left. We're not here to assuage their questions and talking points. This is worldview collisions. This is war, ideological war. And by God, this is a red state. And we want to ram this sucker through, get it on Kemp's desk, and have him sign it and move on to the Second Amendment Preservation Act next session. And if Elena Parent and the radical left is pissed about constitutional carry, wait until we drop SAPA law in Atlanta next session in the Senate side with dozens of co-sponsors on that, because this fight is not going away. Not going away.
Let me give them folks. I'll tell you a little story here, just for a minute. It won't take very long, but right. So in Ohio, we're trying to pass constitutional carry right now, and one of the state legislators in the committee process, as we were introducing constitutional carry to the committee, she's a hardcore leftist Democrat, right? And she sits there and she asks the bill sponsor. She says, "Now." And her name is Representative Tavia Golonsky, total left-wing nut job. And she says, now, I'm just curious, did you confer with the new Black Panther Party or Black Lives Matter when you were designing this bill? And the bill sponsor actually didn't really counterattack on that stuff, but that's their whole goal. They want you to get defensive and start defending your bill so that they can score their points. And so when it was my turn to stand up there and testify on behalf of the OGO members, of course, she didn't ask me that question because she knows I'm a little combative about it. So instead of waiting for her to ask me that question, I addressed her directly in that committee. I said, oh, and to Representative Golonsky's question about whether or not we conferred with Black Lives Matter or the new Black Panthers Party, we didn't confer with them or Antifa or any other terrorist organization in the composition of this beautiful pro-gun bill. And her eyes just like popped. She went freaky. But that's it. It is a culture war we're in here. It's about freedom. These people don't like it at all. They love change. They want to enslave the people and farm the citizens. And we say, nah, hell no. Let's pass constitutional carry instead.
Yeah, 21 other states have. So what are we waiting for? And a lot of the comments here, I'm just going to enter into these comments just for a minute because it's pretty much the same comment from almost everyone watching right now. It's about Brian Kemp. And Jody says, Kemp is just going to use constitutional carry as a campaign promise, nothing more. You know, Jody, you're probably right. You may be right. I'm not sure if you're right. We're not sure if Purdue is going to be great or not. All we know, I'm just going to be very transparent. We are using this dynamic right now, this fight between David Perdue and Brian Kemp to advance freedom. We want to advance constitutional carry, get it done. And after that bill is signed into law, gun owners can ravage anybody they want to. They can support any candidate they want to. They can attack any candidate they want to, but we want to secure the win first. And we're going to use this momentum and this pressure of this primary and President Trump endorsing Purdue to advance this bill, hopefully all the way to the finish line. But somebody else said something about rallies, and I couldn't agree more. He had a rally before session began. The only rally I want to see coming out of Brian Kemp anymore now is the rally when he pulls his freaking pen out of his pocket and he signs SB 319 into law. And we will be there at that rally, and we will be thanking him at that rally for advancing that freedom. But that's the only other rally I want to see coming out of Brian Kemp right now is the victory lap.
Because right now, when you stop and think about it, he's signed just as many pro-gun bills into law as Stacey Abrams has.
Yeah.
I mean, when you stop and think about it,
nothing.
So
nothing.
Yeah, it's time for him to do his job. It's time for him to walk the talk that got him elected. So Brian, knock. Brian, if you're watching this video right now, Governor Kemp, it is time for you to do more than just throw fluffy rallies and press conferences where you promise the world. It is time for you to send your legislative liaisons right into the Georgia State Capitol building and put pressure on the Senate and on House Republican leadership. Ignore the Democrats. We don't need them to pass this bill or to get it to your desk. That's right. But it's time for your office to do its job. The job that so many wonderful people like Kristi Noem, the governor of South Dakota, everybody knows that name now. The very first bill that Kristi Noem signed into law as governor was constitutional carry. And she did that on purpose. And she worked very well with then the Speaker of the House, Steve Haugaard. They worked together on this stuff. It's time for you, Governor Kemp, to be able to delineate yourself between other politicians that are running for that job and put pressure on the House and Senate to put constitutional carry on your desk. Enough with the talk. It's time to start walking the walk, Governor.
And we've been asked this question, and we'll kind of close down here, guys, with this. We've been asked this question by members of the legislature ad nauseum, frankly, for the last, for all session now. Well, are gun owners going to actually vote for Stacey Abrams? And the answer is always, of course, not going to vote for that commie. But they might just simply say, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to vote either way. Gun owners, as Americans, we despise being played for fools. And gun owners here in Georgia have already seen all they have to see as things stand today. And there's not a lot that excites them about either candidate right now on either side. And so are they going to vote for Stacey Abrams? Hell no, of course not. But you would be wrong, Governor, to blindly assume that they're going to follow you no matter what, because the level of frustration right now is as high as we have ever seen in years fighting for gun rights here in Georgia. So it'd be a mistake to presume too much.
That's actually a really great point there. And sorry, I keep going on here, but that's a great point to make to everybody here, that there's a chance. I mean, let's talk theoreticals for just a second. Let's say Brian Kemp wins the primary. There is a very real chance, because he didn't deliver at all for gun owners, there is a very real chance that he could lose that election to Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, there is.
He could lose that election to Stacey Abrams, presuming he wins the primary, because he refused to deliver for gun owners. And that is a total shame. That is a total shame. If he loses this race,
Yep.
it will be because he didn't put up for gun owners. And we
pure
can't let him
arrogance
do
and
that.
just pure arrogance and ego. All the
Yeah.
rest of these governors across the country have, even if they didn't always want to, they knew it was in the best interest of their state, the best interest of the Second Amendment, and frankly, of their careers, and they all jumped up to sign it. That's why we got 5 states that signed constitutional carry last
Right.
year. Many of those governors, I mean, some were heroes, make no mistake. Some were scoundrels, make no mistake. And they
Boy, is that the
knew
truth.
that the best way to shore up their base was to deliver the goods. And we're waiting for you, Governor, to deliver the goods. So, guys, that's where things stand today. There's 2 emails you have got to send. The links are in this comment section right now and above this video. The first one goes to the Rules Committee. They have been holding this down for almost 2 weeks now. Unacceptable. They have to hear from you guys right away. And if our information is correct, and if rules happens shortly, there may be a full floor action final vote in the Senate as early next week. That's why you've got to send the second email, which goes to your state senator and just says, I want you on this bill as a yes vote with no weakening amendments, guys. All these links are automated. It takes about 15 seconds to fire off your email. It goes to the right person. If your person's a Democrat, we talk to them a very certain way. Republicans get a certain other way of emails from us. All the work is done. Fire off your emails, share our video, encourage every gun owner to take action. Give them the links. Take those links, put them on your Facebook page, share them out, email them, whatever it is. Get everybody to take action on these bills. More information, guys, to come hopefully early next week. That's what we have time for today. Thank you for helping us get as far as we have. Massive support in that Senate caucus, but we got a long ways to go.